Hey everybody, welcome back. Sive Morten is here with the Forex Peace Army.com. Let's take a look again on the gold market. So as usual, prepared the weekly report. Lots of interesting stuff there. Market sentiment analysis. What does the big houses talk about gold? But what is more important is that, we have tried to prepare some common stuff report without any sophisticated analysis, numbers, and so on. So just using common sense, it might be interesting to read. The general idea that we would like to express in this report is that we just recall the things that we said in the beginning of this mess. When we saw that the world starts changing, when the global trade, global politics turns to fragmentation, when it starts segregation processes appeared in the globe, in the world, we said one thing, that you might not know what particular events might happen and one moment this might happen, but the one thing that you definitely know, that they will happen. In the epic stage where the market stands right now and the general world stands right now, they can't just not appear. They definitely will appear. You will be surprised with these events. You will not know the timing of these events, but you definitely know that one or other will come, and sometimes it will be absolutely stunning events. And that's particularly what we see right now. Whether we did know that this will happen with the Maduro, or Donald Trump start treating to military invasion in the Greenland, or anything else, of course we didn't know. But overall background that stands right now in the world, it is supported, it is prepared for such an events, and we think that we're still far from the ending stage of this process. United States stands in a very difficult situation with the debt rising, with the problems in the economy. They will have to find some ways to resolve these issues, and this process will be becoming even hotter and hotter. That lets us suggest that all this stuff will keep going, and it definitely will be the supportive and positive background for gold, and we even currently is ready to spread our view on overall commodities, not only on the precious metals, but fertilizers, oil, power, nuclear metals, rare metals, even basic metals, copper, even food. So all this stuff definitely will have one or another degree of support of these events. So it means that currently we do not have any reasons actually to suggest that supportive and rally on a gold market is over. Yes, maybe the rush will come down a bit. It will not be as hot as this year, but who knows what will happen. But still, the overall processes that are going there are still far from the end. The end will happen only when all these moving parts will stay in some balance, which is really far from over, we suggest. And definitely in such a perspective, gold market will remain as highly demanded as. So that's the conclusion. And a lot of interesting details from the politics, from the economy situations we have posted in the report. Now back to technical issues, back to the practical moments. We started the week from the upward action. On the previous week, 2 days ago actually, we have currently identified the sharp change in the sentiment, and we said forget about the grabber that has been formed, although it was still valid here. We said forget about it, turn up, buy gold, we're preparing for upward action. And this action is started. So as a result, now officially we have the bullish grabber on the weekly chart, and this grabber suggests taking out of the stops, creating the new all-time high. But the options for all-time high now stands different. So first we have on the daily chart 45.83 target. It's uncompleted XOP. Next one, we have the 1618 extension of this butterfly, which potentially also might be reached, because here was 127. Market has shown healthy retracement. returning back to the idea of the momentum trade here, right, guys? So keeping up. But this reaction and upward reaction suggests that markets keep going to the next destination point. If market hasn't shown total reversal at the 127 extension, right? So it means that it should reach the 1618 at some point. Currently, maybe it's not as important just because it stands outside of the daily overbought. It needs some time to be reached, but still we have it on this chart. On the lower time frame and full time frame chart, we have two moments. First, we have completed XOP that we talked about. 45.15 target has been reached. So this minor hand short now is totally completed. And the second we have here is another one, local butterfly with some compromising target, which is a 46.24. So it stands not as far as 46.80, but slightly higher than the daily XOP. So at 45.83, here's 46.25. So maybe if here we have a lot of stops, maybe market will try to just touch them, and that will add fuel to some spike right back up. So 46.25 seems also might be considered. And it's not too deep in overbought. So overbought stands around 46.10. If market will spend a few days on reaching this level, overbought will come further to the upside, and actually 46.25, well, it might be reached. I have not excluded totally. Finally, on hourly chart, overall this background suggests that we need to consider taking a long position. And for taking long position, I would consider these two levels, because drop below the 44.10 will erase the recent upward swing and actually will lead to appearing of the bearish reversal swing, which is not great in the current circumstances. And besides, here we have rather strong support around 44.50, and it is well, it is desirable to see that gold will be able to stay above minor levels, will not breaking them and keeping this upward tendency. Besides, these two levels are based on the lows of the weekly grabber, which is also, you can see, the lows of the gap. That's why I think that these two levels should be enough to hold the market from the on the downside way, on the downside retracement, and that levels we will be watching for. To the upside, we have here also minor targets. So with these hand shorts that we discussed, OP stands 45.29, approximately 45.30, while the XOP 45.76, which is very close to the daily 45.83. So mostly we could say that's mostly in the same points. So that and towards what we have, we do not consider taking any shorts. We're dealing with the directional patterns on the weekly chart, watching for retracements for a possible taking long position. If you already have taken the position here, or maybe yesterday, the day before, these hand shorts where we said keep an eye on taking position, that's great. So you just could keep them, moving stops to the break even and see what will happen. Because of course it's not guaranteed that we will get this retracement. Market just could keep going higher. It's also possible. And another reason why I do not want to see the break of these levels, just because, guys, by the structure of the swings, we have the extension. ABCD major retracement is done. So that was the major part of the pullback. This is extension, and it has to go to the next destination points. That's why sudden interruption here and drop below this level will be unnatural for any bullish performance. That's another reason, pure technical, why I do not consider any deep standing support level. So just only these ones. So that's probably all for now. Let's see what we'll get. Hopefully that will be a great trade.